Uh, Back again for another video. So, I think I'm gonna come up with a mantra for my page. It's probably gonna be submission is the admission. So, with that said, submit your minds to this message. But anyways, the topic that I want to talk about today is she doesn't want your money. A lot of guys will say, yeah, she probably does want your money. She wants your resources. And to a degree, this is true. But socially, no, this is not true. For the most part, when it comes to good women. Now, I'm not talking about your women who are, goal oriented into changing a man into a walking wallet. I'm talking about the women who are, worth their weight pretty much. That won't give you a high level of diminishing returns. And what I mean by this is this woman, normally she does look for a guy who has the ability to be of means. Though at the same time, she understands that it's not about the money necessarily, because she's looking at the man. Now, a lot of people would be like, the man is, the breadwinner, and he is the protector, etc., etc., etc. They give all these adjectives to describe him. But a woman sees the man a little bit differently. Now, clearly, again, I'm speaking on the quote-unquote good women. From now on, I'll just call them Valkyries, because that's what I like to distinguish them as. But anyways, I'll make another video on that another time. But what I mean by this is that she doesn't really see you as an adjective on that level anyways. She sees you as a man of principle and a man of discipline, because she understands that it takes principles and discipline to attain a lot of things in this world, whether it be a nice body, whether it be a business, whether it be a status level, a career, or even learning something, whether it be a language or learning an instrument. Women, they do like all these things. They do like art, they do like, nice cars, and they like these things. But if you really pay attention to the core fundamental of these things, it breaks down to having discipline and having principles. Now, I wouldn't expect a woman to be able to explain this in the way that a man can, but this is something that I've learned throughout my lifetime. The reason why they like these things is because I hate to say it, but a lot of women don't have principle, and a lot of women don't have discipline. Once again, I'm a firm believer that women often seek men who have the characteristics that they wish they could have, who can exhibit those things in her life. For instance, if she knows she needs to get her fat ass in the gym, she's going to be attracted to a man of principle and a man of discipline, because she knows that he will, and she will submit to that, because she knows that he will get her in line and push her to go in the direction that she needs to go in, and more than likely that she wants to go in. This is no different than any other thing in this world. Let's say this guy is a really good artist, and he shows a high level of discipline and principle with his artistic value that he gives off, and in his creations. Women are drawn to that because they admire that this individual has this level of skill to be able to create something so beautiful to them. And once again, I guarantee you, every single last one of those women who are attracted to that guy wish they had that attribute about themselves, and they would love for them to teach them. A lot of times, this is, the surface level stuff. So, for instance, a woman definitely likes a man who can teach her something. A woman likes a man that can lead her, meaning that this man actually has to be better at something that she is interested in than the ability that she has at her level. So if you really think about it, this breaks down into that fundamental that I was talking about. I'll give you an example of how money isn't really indicative of principle now, or principle and discipline. Now, let's not confuse that. She's still attracted to that. She's still attracted to the money and the cars and stuff like that. But she's actually looking for that principality and that discipline to permeate throughout that man's life. That means that everything that he does damn near has a certain level of degree of rationality, and also has a good level of principles and discipline in order to maintain his life in a certain way. I'll give an example of how this works. For instance, that's why you see a lot of these guys with the certain kind of women, the females that they have, because they have a certain level of discipline and principles throughout their life, even though they may be some fat dudes. They may be some fat dudes with some bad chicks. I guarantee you, if you look closer at the situation, it's because he's exhibiting principles and he's exhibiting discipline in his life throughout his life. Maybe not with his weight per se, but like I said, for the majority of his life and the things that he does is based on principle and discipline. Now, let's look at the other way around. So let's say you have, well, not the other way around, but let's look at a different scenario. Let's say you have a guy who has, let's go with a basketball player. We see these basketball players getting cheated on all the time. We see them, getting into domestic violence situations with them, and all this crazy stuff with these bad chicks, right? And I can almost guarantee you it's because the only thing that guy shows discipline and principle in is probably the basketball game. That's it. Everything about his life is probably unorderly. It's probably out of whack. He doesn't have any discipline when it comes to his personal life. And that's the reason why these chicks run all over these dudes. That can help explain to you guys the reason why these women end up with these so-called masters of the universe, and they just ruin their lives. But they'll get with another lesser man, as we see it, and then they will, be the greatest thing that ever happened to that dude. When it comes to a woman in his life, she'll be the greatest woman to that guy. It's all about that man's level of principle and discipline. But anyway, that's been my video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope this explains a little bit of extra things that people don't understand, because that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to give knowledge about things that I understand from my perspective and the things that I have been through throughout my life that show that a man can be a certain way and still win out here. So I'm not perfect, far from. I have my own issues, but my wisdom is my wisdom, and it'll never leave me. So I figured that I can share that with you guys. But anyway, like, comment, and share. If you got something to say on the video, by all means, like I said, comment. I don't mind. I guess that's my video. But anyways, maybe you guys have a good day. Peace be with you. And I'm out of here.